Hello children, this is my third video. It's characteristics of organisms. Let's see what are the characteristics of organisms. There are 8 characteristics you have to learn. First one, cellular organization, nutrition, respiration, irritability and coordination, excretion, movement, reproduction, growth and development. First one, cellular organization. All the livings are consist with one cell or multiple cells. Cells are the structural and functional unit of the organism. The cells are collect together to form tissues. The several tissues are collect to made organs. Collecting several organs make organ systems. The organ systems collect to form organisms. For example, for the tissue is blood tissue, bone tissue, nerves tissue, muscle tissue. For the organs, heart, lungs, brain, kidney, and for the organ system, urinary system, excretory system, digestive system are the examples. The second characteristic is nutrition. The nutrition is the process by which the energy and the materials are obtained for the maintenance of the life. You have to keep in mind these definitions. It is simply the taking energy and materials to maintain life. There are 2 types of nutrition, autotrophs and heterotrophs. Autotrophs are the organisms who made their own food, and the heterotrophics are the organisms who depends on the plants directly or indirectly. For example, for the autotrophs are algae, cyanobacteria and plants. Autotrophs produce their food by photosynthesis or chemosynthesis. Photosynthesis means they utilize light energy as energy source. For the chemosynthesis ones utilize chemicals or chemical substances as energy source. Heterotrophs are 3 ways. If they are directly depend on the plants, they are called herbivorous. If they are indirectly depend on the plants, they can be omnivorous or carnivorous. The next characteristic is respiration. You have to keep in mind this definition. It's so important. The process by which the stored food is transformed into energy inside the cell is known as cellular respiration. Lamai, the respiration is the mechanism that produce energy. It is the way of producing energy. But in nutrition, it is the taking materials, right? එතකොට ඔයාලා පොඩ්ඩක් ඒක misunderstand කරගන්න එපා. nutrition එකේදී energy produce කරන්නේ respiration එකේ තමයි energy produce කරන්නේ. The chemical formula, balance formula of the cellular respiration is glucose plus oxygen, carbon dioxide, water and ATP. Right? You have to write the ATP in your right hand side. It's so important, right? Then there are 2 experiments under the respiration. First one is experiment to show the requirement of oxygen for respiration. In here you can see 2 setup. The first one has KOH and the second one doesn't have KOH vessel. The function of this KOH vessel is to absorb carbon dioxide in the vessel. If I explain this experiment, during respiration you know that absorb oxygen and release carbon dioxide. In here we assume, the assumption is the volume of carbon dioxide, oxygen absorb is equal to the volume of CO2 release. In first setup, the germinating seeds absorb oxygen, but the released carbon dioxide are absorbed by the KOH solution. As a result of this, the water, colored water in the vessel rise up through the delivery tube, as it is the observation in this practical. In the second one, the volume of oxygen absorbed equal to carbon dioxide volume release, and it doesn't have KOH solution to absorb release oxygen carbon dioxide, so the colored water in the second setup doesn't rise up like first setup. පළවෙනි වගේ rise up වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Right? Then it is the experiment to show the requirement of oxygen for the respiration. For this vessel, you can use germinating seeds, because the germinating seeds are the living organisms. Then they do cellular respiration. Instead of germinating seeds, you can use small insect or animals too. The second experiment is the experiments to show the release of carbon dioxide during respiration. You have to keep in mind the order of this setup. The first one has KOH solution, the second one is the lime water, and third one is the organism, it contains frog, and the next one also again there is a lime water, and the last vessel contain water. The purpose of using the KOH in first vessel is to absorb atmospheric carbon dioxide. To absorb atmospheric carbon dioxide. If the atmospheric carbon dioxide contained in this setup, the result will be incorrect. So first of all, we have to remove the atmospheric carbon dioxide. It will done by the first KOH solution, right? එතකොට ඒකෙන් තමයි remove කරන්නේ. එහෙම නැත්නම් absorb කරලා remove කරන්නේ first setup එකේ තියෙන KOH. Then second lime water is to check whether all the atmospheric carbon dioxide has been removed. ඒ remove වෙලාද කියලා check කරන්නේ එකේ. If the second lime water will turn into milky color, the all carbon dioxide in the atmospheric carbon dioxide in the air mixture doesn't remove, right? ඒක check කරන්න තමයි lime water first B vessel එක තියෙන්නේ. The C vessel has living organism. For this one we can use germinating seed also. Then D has again lime water. If the lime water is colorless, no? If the colorless lime water is turned into milky color, we can conclude the frog has been done the respiration and it has released carbon dioxide, because the carbon dioxide turn colorless lime water into milky color, right? This is the second setup to check whether carbon dioxide is released during the respiration. The next characteristic is irritability and coordination. A change which is strong enough to bring about a response is known as stimulus. Stimulus කියන්නේ change එකක් in external or internal environment එකේ that brings a response. There are 5 sensory organs in our body: eye, ear, skin, tongue and nose. It is skin, not the body, right? From these sensory organs, they can perceive stimuli. From eye, sight. From ear, they can perceive hearing. And from skin, they can perceive touch. From the tongue, perceive taste. From nose, can perceive smell. The reaction according to the changes in the environment are known as responses. After percepting these senses, may 5 senses percept karama, we can do responses. We can do responses from muscles or gland. Muscles or glands වලින් තමයි respond කරන්නේ. For example, if I see a tasty food, my saliva will secrete. I saw the food by my eye and salivas are secreted by salivary gland. Then sense එක eye එකෙන් ගත්තේ and the reaction එක එහෙම නැත්නම් response එක දුන්නේ gland එකෙන්. Likewise, the ability to respond to stimuli received from internal and external environment is known as irritability. And respond එකක් අපිට මේ විදියට දෙන්න පුළුවන් එක. එහෙම නැත්නම් ability එක අපි කියන්නේ irritability එක. The communication between different organisms during responding to a stimulus is known as coordination. Then sensory organ එකෙන් sensors 5 sensors අපි percept කරනවා and for that 5 sensors we do responses. මේවෙන් ගන්න stimulus වලට අපි respond දෙනවා. Response දෙන්නේ muscle or glands වලින්. මේ muscle or glands and sensory organs in between these two we can communicate. මේ අතර communication එකක් වෙනවා. It is known as coordination. This one is done by nervous system or endocrine system. මේ දෙකෙන් තමයි මේ කරන්නේ. මේ highlight කරපු definitions තුන චුට්ටක් මතක තියාගන්න. ඒක ගොඩක් important. The next characteristic is reproduction. Reproduction means the production of a new generation by unicellular or multicellular organisms for their continuation of their species. It's simply production of new generation by pre-existing organisms. There are two ways of the reproduction, sexual and asexual. Let me explain using simple example. Think about planting new rose plants using by cutting stems of the mother plant and reproduction of human to produce babies. For the asexual rose plant, sexual making babies by human. Difference එක මතක තියාගන්න ලේසි. You can understand in asexual reproduction there should be a single mother plant or single organism required. But in sexual reproduction there should be a male and female. That means 2 organisms required. For the asexual there is no gamete production, but in sexual reproduction there should be a gamete production or ova or sperms should be produced. In asexual reproduction we can produce large number of new organisms or offsprings in same time at one time, but in sexual reproduction we cannot produce large number of organisms at one time. We can produce small number of organisms at maybe 2 or 3 at once, right? And in asexual reproduction the offsprings are similar to each other and as well as mother organism, but in sexual reproduction the individuals are not identical to each other as well as they are not similar to parental organisms. Parental organisms ලට similar වෙන්නේ. ඒක differences විදියට ඔය ටික මතක තියාගන්න. And also asexual reproduction එකේදී වෙන්නේ mitosis එක and sexual reproduction එකේදී වෙන්නේ meiosis එක. During sexual reproduction the females produce egg cells by meiosis and males produce sperm cells by meiosis. These egg cells and sperm cells collect and fuse. It is called fertilization. After this fertilization make single cell, it is called zygote, and the zygote is divided by mitosis to form embryo, right? ඒකත් පොඩ්ඩක් flow chart එක මතක තියාගන්න. The next characteristic is excretion. Excretion means removal of byproducts from the body that are produced during the metabolism. Simply removal of the unwanted products that is produced by the metabolism from the body. In here, the feces are not considered as the excretory product because it doesn't produce by the metabolic reactions, right? They are the undigested food particles. There are three main excretory organs in human: lungs, skin and kidney. Lungs produce exhale air, it contains carbon dioxide and water vapors, and the skin produce the sweat contain water, salt, sodium chloride, urea and uric acid. The kidney produce urine contain urea, uric acid, salt and water. The major excretory organ is kidney. It is called as major nitrogenous excretory organ, but the lungs are not considered as nitrogenous excretory organ. It is not a nitrogenous excretory organ. It is not a nitrogenous excretory organ because they are producing carbon dioxide and water. Then next one is the movement. Unicellular ones and multicellular ones, both unicellular ones and multicellular ones do movements. For the unicellular ones, they have pseudopodia, flagella and cilia. Amoeba has pseudopodia, Euglena and Chlamydomonas has flagella. The paramecium has small fiber-like structure. They are called cilia. The plant also do movements. They do tropic movements and nastic movements. For the tropic movements, example, geotropic movement, phototropic movements, chemotropic movement. Likewise, they do positive, negative tropic movements. The animals, they have different movement methods. Actually, animals can do locomotion because they can move one place to another place. They have different modes of locomotions: flying, running, swimming, crawl. Likewise, they have different appendages for them. For that, wings, legs, muscles. Likewise, then next and last characteristic is growth and development. Growth is the irreversible increase of dry mass. It is irreversible. Reverse karana ba increase in dry mass. It is called growth. And the increase in complexity. With the growth, our body become very complex. It is called development. There are three ways of growth and development. First one, we can growth and development by the irreversible increase of size of the cells loku vela wenna puluwan. And the second one is increase of the number of cells numbers gana wenna වැඩි වෙන්න පුළුවන්, and the cell differentiations වෙන්න පුළුවන්. This figure shows the oxonometer. Keep in mind, it is the instrument that is used to measure the growth of the plant. Plant එක growth එක වයින්න පුළුවන් meter එක oxonometer එක. ඒකේ structure එක පොඩ්ඩක් ඔලුවට දාගන්න. The last topic of this lesson is characteristics of virus. The virus is electron microscope. They cannot visible in the light microscope, and it has nucleic acid and protein capsid. Nucleic acid may be DNA or RNA, and they do not have metabolic reaction. The reactions occurs, and they are considered as both living or non-living organisms. They do reproduction as a living characteristic, and they don't do respiration, excretions, so they are considered as non-living organisms as well, right? These are the points that you have to keep in mind during characteristics of organism lesson. I'll do next lesson in next time. Until that, goodbye.